Yeah, so on the new tool side, we think that there's still a lot of growth to go in the streaming revolution, especially when it comes to the advertisers. If you look at the numbers, 4 billion a year is moving from other budgets into streaming TV. And we just think that the advertisers don't have the data they need to be successful yet. So we're launching a service called Optimal Reach that's tackling the one thing that we think is the most important, which is what's the overlap between linear and streaming. A lot of streaming is being sold based on the basis that it's incremental, but is it really? And then there's also the issue of whether one AVOD app or one AVOD buy overlaps with another AVOD buy. So Optimal Reach is going to measure client campaigns and deduplicate linear and streaming and find out not only where they're duplicating each other and creating waste, but also where they're unexposed audiences. So even with all the budget you're spending on linear and streaming, you can still miss people. And what we're seeing is consistently, advertisers are missing 40% of their audience, even with linear and streaming. So Optimal Reach will measure that gap, and then we'll use machine learning to create targets that'll help the client fill that gap. And by the way, the data source that's feeding this is not only our big data, our ACR, that we're known for, but we're also introducing our own panel called TV and You, which we're going to have 5,000 households of Samsung homes with a meter providing us their information about both linear and streaming.
You might think you've got ACR data, why do you need a panel? What made you go in that direction, and what do you expect it to unlock?
We're expecting it to unlock a lot of granular information about streaming behaviors, what shows people prefer, how the overlap between linear and streaming from an advertising perspective is happening, and then also the person's level data. So people haven't really had authoritative co-viewing data or age and gender data about streaming, and we will provide that for Samsung clients.
So this means more data. We're in this era of like everyone's got so much data. How do you figure out what data is going to make a difference for your company this year?
It's definitely the data sources, so the big data in the ACR, other big data we're bringing online around in-app streaming, the panel, the TV and You panel. But we're also really focused on artificial intelligence and machine learning, of course. And the use case here, though, is more lower funnel. We're seeing clients a lot of demand in using streaming television, CTV, as a performance lower funnel medium. That's been the dream, to have the big beauty and power and emotional impact of television combined with the precision and impact of digital and data. So what we're able to do is take performing segments, you treat them as seed segments, create AI and machine learning models to find more of those people and drive performance, and the results have been extraordinary. We're seeing 200% lift in app opens, 200% lift in website visits, in gameplay, 100% lift in store visits, and we're seeing this reliably, which is to say hundreds and even thousands of campaigns are performing this way.
You mentioned AI, of course, it's top of mind for so much of the industry.
Yeah.
How do you see it shaping the future of data analytics broadly, like for advertising strategies going into this year?
Yeah, I mean, AI is a means of answering questions that otherwise seem out of reach. ACR itself, which is, again, sort of part of our flagship, is an AI application. In a sense, it's teaching technology to watch television and interpret it. So we think we're going to get further and further into the very sophisticated questions that clients need around planning across an increasingly sophisticated ecosystem of linear and streaming, and just driving higher and higher levels of performance.
Lastly, you're increasingly able to provide more insights to clients with all this. How are you helping them turn insights into action better?
Well, the advantage of being a media company with a lot of data that you can provide to clients is that, unlike a measurement company, you can actually action on the data. So when we measure a campaign for a client, or we're doing insights about an audience for a client, that's not the end of the story that we're providing the information. We're able to turn around and say, you missed 40% of your audience, now we're going to go help you find them. So our position is one where we can make really rich and deep observations and turn around and activate on it for the client.